Hey everyone, Matt here, and welcome back to the channel. So today is it's kind of a sad day for me. Today I'm finally saying goodbye to my very first Tesla, the Model 3. I sold it to Vroom a few days ago, and finally the carrier is coming to pick it up. So I figure before I say goodbye to her, I would just give you some of my final thoughts on the Model 3. So let's get started. All right, so just to go more into some final thoughts overall in this vehicle. So this is a 2018 Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive, which if you're familiar with Tesla, they don't even make this vehicle anymore. They dumped the rear-wheel drive variant for the long range, and now they opt in so you can only get the all-wheel drive vehicle for this. I purchased it at the end of 2018 when I first got here to South Carolina. But overall, this has been a fantastic automobile. I honestly couldn't be happier with it. I drive my car back and forth to work, which is about a 60-mile round trip. And also one of the particulars of my job in the military requires me to work shift work. And that meaning sometimes I'll work maybe 11 p.m. to like 8 or 9 a.m. And I'm not going to lie, like after a really long shift like that overnight, I'm exhausted, and it's difficult to drive home, but this car has made it so much easier. I get out onto the highway, I turn on the autopilot, and it just allows me to just kind of breathe a little bit easier because I have a little bit more increased situational awareness of everything that's going on around me, and it makes my 35-minute drive home much easier. So maybe if you're one of those, if you're like maybe like a doctor or a nurse, cop, EMT, firefighter, like any of the or construction, like if you're one of those jobs that maybe requires you to work some of those long hours overnight, this would be a great option for you, so you can just get home a lot safer to your families and all that. But really, yeah, I'm gonna miss this car. Say you never forget your first Tesla, and the red Model 3, I'll definitely never forget it. Yeah, like I said, overall this has just been a fantastic commuter car. Driving this thing back and forth to work 5 days a week, and I've driven up to Virginia for a wedding, driven it to Georgia, North Carolina, like up and down the East Coast, and it has been a solid automobile overall. Like for my first Tesla, like I kind of didn't know what to expect, but yeah, going back, I couldn't be happier. Going in, I guess, to some of the costs that I've spent on this vehicle. Sure, the first thing you're curious about is electricity. So looking at my kilowatts per hour, I've used just a little over 11,000 kilowatt hours of electricity to drive this car 44,000 miles. I'm sure you're thinking, well, how much total cost was that? So it kind of varies, I guess, depending on your price of electricity for your region or for your state. But here for South Carolina, the cost of electricity is roughly 12 cents a kilowatt hour. So doing the math on that, so to drive 44,000 miles, I spent a total of, got my numbers here, so $1,330.44. But that also doesn't include how many times I've been to the Supercharger. I was able to refer somebody in my squadron to buy a Tesla. And of course, back then with Tesla's referral program, I was actually able to get 5,000 free miles. So basically me going to North Carolina, all the Virginia, all these states was basically free. So if you subtract, maybe I think I used only about 3,000 out of the 5,000 miles total. So honestly, I spent less than that. Coming from a similar car in its class, maybe like if you're BMW or Mercedes, you're looking maybe into the mid 25 to 30 mile per gallon range. So comparing costs, I've spent a drastic amount less. And also, no oil changes in this car. There's no fluid in this car other than your windshield wiper fluid and some of your battery coolant, which I've never even seen. I've never even really had to get that serviced at all. But yeah, electricity has been just super cheap. I highly recommend a Tesla especially if you live somewhere maybe where gas is a little bit more expensive. Gas here in South Carolina is relatively cheap, but maybe if you live somewhere where it's a little bit higher, this would be overall a great car for you. And if you own a home that you have Tesla solar and the solar panels, you're basically driving this car for free with the exception of insurance and your monthly car payment, which, I guess going back to money and all that, insurance for this car has been super cheap. I use USA for military members, and USA charges me about $95 a month for the Model 3, which I know some people haven't quite had that good of experience or low price, but just compared to other vehicles. But like I said, overall, it's been a very cheap option to drive. All right, so one of the questions I get asked as well is like, Matt, how much have you spent on maintenance for this car? And so I'll kind of give you a quick breakdown. So my biggest expense for this car so far has been tires, and I went to my local discount tire about a little after 40,000 miles, and I bought a set of 4 tires, the exact same tires that came originally with the Model 3. Cost me $600. So for 4 tires, overall not bad. And I know they had a good sale going on. They had a military discount as well. Next thing I purchased was 2 cabin air filters. The Model 3 requires 2 of them, and I replaced those around the 20,000 mile mark because I've noticed the air in my car just kind of, it smelled a bit. It smelled very musty. Every time I would turn on the air conditioner, it just stunk a bit. So $34 for those 2. And then the final thing that I bought was windshield wiper fluid for $2.50. So when you do the math on that, I've literally spent $600 and make sure my math is right here. So $636.50 total in maintenance over the past 2.5 years. We're almost pushing 3 years. So overall, not bad. Pretty maintenance-friendly vehicle in my opinion, and very cost-effective. And as for the exterior of the vehicle, the exterior has held up extremely well. The paint looks fantastic. The red multi-coat looks great. If you're kind of on the fence about which color to get, so white is still the free color, the pearl white multi-coat, which looks fantastic. But man, there's just something about this. I call it Tesla red. I know it's similar to like Ferrari red, but man, like this Tesla, it's kind of like a candy apple red. It looks great. Like some of the looks I get driving this car down the road, it's like you see kids waving like, oh, it's a Tesla, and but the paint looks, it still holds up. No signs of fading, anything like that. I do keep the car in the garage constantly, so it's not out in this South Carolina heat right now. But yeah, overall, yeah, I'm super happy with the vehicle. Again, I'm sad to see it go. Which, don't get me wrong, I love the Model Y. I absolutely love the Model Y. If you've seen some of my videos on it, like that is a fantastic vehicle. So, but Tesla overall, just over the years, I've seen a drastic just improvement in not only their build quality, but also just the overall ride quality. This is the only vehicle that I've ever purchased, I mean the Model 3, where I got a range boost and a performance boost. I remember I got an update a couple of years ago where I think I got an extra like 10 or 15 miles, and I got a 5% decrease in 0 to 60 time. And you can't, and that was it with an over-the-air software update. You can't find that with anybody else. So I thought that was pretty cool. Something to go over too is how has the interior held up after 44,000 miles. And I can say without a doubt that this is the best interior that I have ever seen in terms of just looks, comfort, and durability as well. So I've driven cars before where you've seen like after 10,000 miles you start to see like the leather just wear and tear and start to crack. But with the exception of maybe like a small wrinkle on my driver's side seat, which so I'm pulling up the video for that for you now, the interior in this vehicle is flawless. It looks brand new as if the day that I picked it up. And for this synthetic leather, the vegan leather as Tesla calls it, it holds up extremely well. And I have 2 dogs as well, which I put the pet cover in the back, and the dogs they lay on that. So, but overall with the interior, extremely impressed. Like I said, maybe you're on the fence on which kind of Tesla to purchase, but if you're looking to maybe purchase something a little bit cheaper in the Tesla lineup, they do make the standard Range Plus Model 3, which comes in at $39,990. It provides over 260 miles of range, which if, like I said, you're using it maybe as a daily commuter back and forth to work, maybe you don't go across country or interstate very much, that would be a great starter car for you if you're trying to just kind of dip your toe into the EV field, I guess. But that doesn't mean that you can't use a standard Range Plus as a interstate vehicle. Tesla's adding superchargers almost by the day, and they're projecting to build hundreds more here in the U.S. and then thousands more across the world. So you can use a standard Range Plus as a as an interstate vehicle, just know that you said you'll have less range, so you'll have to charge a little bit longer at the superchargers, but it's nothing too crazy. But if you feel like you do want that range and you do want to upgrade for an additional 10 grand, you can get the long range all-wheel drive version, which comes in at $49,990, and that gives you over 350 miles of range. So what that means is you'll be charging a lot less. So yeah, but overall that's all I got. This is a pretty short video, kind of on a time crunch, especially the carrier is going to be here in probably about 30 minutes. But yep, just figure I'd just go over some of my final thoughts with the Model 3. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And once again, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed the content, yeah, please hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps me out. And then so for some of my viewers, I know you've commented my classy wired mic. I hear you guys loud and clear. I'm actually researching some wireless mics as well, just for overall better sound and just, I guess, kind of a better presentation instead of dragging this wire everywhere. So I do hear you. But all right, that's all I got. See ya.